Hi, I'm Neil, co-director of Vintage Roots, the organic wine people, and I'm lucky enough to be here with James Millton today, all the way from, he's come over all the way from New Zealand, Gisborne, North Island, on a trip here to promote his wines and see us. And we're tasting the Opou Chardonnay today with James. Would you like to fill us in a little bit, James, on the Opou Chardonnay?
Sure, yeah, thank you, Neil. Opou Chardonnay is a wine that we've been making in Gisborne, New Zealand since 1984. The vineyard itself, Opou, O-P-O-U, is a Maori name for a word that means a place where you put the stake in the ground. So it's a little bit of an historical significance, because this is some of the oldest land that's been found by one family in New Zealand for over 5 generations now. So Opou Vineyard is based further away from the rivers, more into the bottom of the valley where the soil is quite heavier, and so it's more clay in its texture. Therefore the wine tends to take a bit more creamy, soft, mineralised flavour to it. The grapes are picked by hand, they're grown biodynamically, and they have been grown like that since the last 25 years.
Yeah.
They're picked by hand, and we put the grapes straight into the press and then gently press them over about a 2 or 4 hour cycle, so that we try and get the juice just under the skin and then close around the pit, so that it's got a nice acidity, which makes the wine, gives it a nice bite. The wine is, the juice is put into 225 litre barrels, which are the classic Burgundian barrels, where they're allowed to ferment for the rest of the autumn. Then they go to seed for the winter, and then in springtime the cellar warms up, and then the malolactic, the secondary fermentation, starts up, which gives it this creamy character. And then it sits in there for another 6 months until the beginning of the next harvest, when we then would take it out of the barrel and bottle it, and then let it age for 6 months or even a year before we clean the bottles up, put the label on, and send them off to you.
Alright. All the way over here. James has actually been probably at the forefront of biodynamic farming in New Zealand, and in a wine sense, for, as he says, 25 years, and we've been lucky enough to be listing the wines for quite some time now. 5 or 6 whites, 2 or 3 reds, and a rosé, all of which are absolutely fantastic wines, and really represent the terroir, the sense of place where the wines are coming from, and really delivers lots and lots of flavour and fruit in the mouth, a fantastic balance. Should we try the Chardonnay now?
Yep. Because I think what should be emphasised, that these wines are coming from a maritime climate, they're not coming from a continental climate, because the sea is quite close, so therefore you get a freshness in the aroma, almost like a clean sea breeze.
Sure, yeah.
Once again, nice colour.
Beautiful, very bright. Yeah, really glowing in the glass, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's crystal clear.
And then you get this nice creamy
It's an
hazelnut.
vanilla-y edge to it as well.
It's almost
isn't
like
it?
walking through an English wood with oak trees and understory.
Yeah, beautiful. Quite complex, and you get a little bit of the wood, but it's not too much. There's plenty of fruit comes through on the nose there, isn't there?
On a summer's day, I think you can smell the same smell that Winnie the Pooh would have smelled as he's walking down to the 100 acre wood.
At least. Absolutely delicious.
And you see it sits in the palate nicely and goes right across the palate, still with a little tick of acidity at the end of it,
Yeah.
but it goes smoothly across the palate, which makes the wine appear light and fresh, but then this character that goes right to the back of the palate, which gives it some presence. So as a 2009 wine, it's drinking nicely now, but it's going to age for a lot longer, for many years to come.
Up to 10 years, you would think?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It would mature in the same way, good white Burgundy, really.
yeah, although a different climate. of
Different
course.
climate, yeah.
So I like this, and one of the ideas is that we stir the lees up, or the yeast deposit at the bottom of the barrels, which is called autolysis, batonnage, to create the autolysis in the wine, and that creates this beautiful sort of soft, how do we say, like the feel of linen, nice texture in the mouth,
Yeah,
which makes it a good food accompaniment.
sure.
But its freshness means that you can drink it sort of
On its own or
On
with
its own,
food, yeah,
yeah,
it
right.
certainly is a cracking wine. So you can enjoy this wine roughly in the region of sort of £13 to £15 a bottle.
yeah.
Complexity, lots and lots of flavour, accessible, lots going on in the glass. Do enjoy it. James Millton, Opou Chardonnay. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you.
health.